can touch the sky. In the city of angels, feels like I'm coming home. With my head up in the clouds, I am searching for something, and I'm still hoping. 'Cause I wanna be in, not out, wanna make this all count. Yes, I wanna go crazy now, gonna make this all count. Feeling like a rock star, 'cause tonight I'm getting out of line and it's alright. Feeling like feeling like just as cool as John Wayne in his movies. Feeling like I'm James Dean and I know it. Feeling like feeling like a rock star. Feeling like a rock star. Feeling like a rock star. Feeling like a rock star.
But it's not that easy. You're complicating things for me. No, it's not that easy. Maybe just a little time can heal me, but it doesn't feel the way. What are you doing to me? Why'd you break my heart? Left me in the dark, dark. Why'd you have to go? I don't wanna feel this way. Though I'm broken, I'm still hoping I could be with you. I'm still breathing, it's not easy. I'm just a fool for you. Yeah, I'm just that stupid. Thought that we were meant to be. Yeah, I'm just that stupid. Maybe just a little time can make you change your mind about us. I thought that we were meant to be. Why'd you break my heart? Left me in the dark, dark. Why'd you have to go? I don't wanna feel this way. Though I'm broken, I'm still hoping I could be with you. I'm still breathing, it's not easy. I'm just a fool for you. I'm just a fool for you. I'm just a fool for you. For you. For you.
La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la. Hey, I've got you on my mind. Yeah, you're all that I think about. You know you got me going wild. And what I want is you. Could you come a little closer? I want you by my side, and I'll try the best I can to make you feel this way. Don't let me down, down, down. It could be you and I want you now, 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 now. Come let me hold you now. I wanna lay in your arms. Come let me love you now. Yeah, you're the one that I want. I wanna stay here. I wanna stay here with you. I wanna stay here with you. La 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 la, la 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 la, la la la. I wanna stay here with you. La 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 la, la la la, la la la. I wanna stay here with you. Tell me what you wanna do. Yeah, 'cause I'd do anything. I just wanna be with you. How can you make me feel this way? Don't let me down, down, down. It could be you and I want you now, 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 now. Come let me hold you now. I wanna lay in your arms. Come let me love you now. Yeah, you're the one that I want. I wanna stay here. I wanna stay here with you. I wanna stay here with you. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. I wanna stay here with you. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. I wanna stay here with you. I just wanna hear you say that you want me to. I told you I can't get you off my mind. Come let me hold you now. I wanna lay in your arms. Come let me love you now. Yeah, you're the one that I want. I wanna stay here. I wanna stay here with you. I wanna stay here with you. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. I wanna stay here with you.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Tuesday Night Studio Sessions. My name is Sean. I'll be your host. I hope you're having a good night. This is the pre-show, so let me know if you can hear me and see me. Okay. I can make any adjustments if I need to. But we got a lot going on this week. I got 2 new drones and a new camera on its way. But yeah, just a lot going on. And we've got a new drone to talk about that's coming out in a week, which is pretty cool. So the audio is a little low. Is my audio okay for everybody else, or is it check, 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 check? Is that good, better or worse? Check, check. I wish I had an audio meter on this app. Oh, it was just him. So I'm going to put it back right where it was. All right. Yeah. So the DJI the DJI Mini 4 Pro is about to come out. It's got a couple updates, not too many updates coming. But we're going to talk about that. And then I was planning on getting the Air 3, but I spent a lot of time on YouTube comparing the Air 3 with the Classic and trying to figure out if I care that I can fly a couple more miles away. Do I care about the zoom lens on it? Or do I really want a micro four thirds camera? So that's kind of what I weighed out. I feel like with, we can go into it, but I feel like with a 5.1K really good camera, I can zoom in and zoom into the footage a little bit and get zoomed in a little bit. So that's my plan. But yeah, so I've got that on the way. Should be here by the next live stream. So by the next live stream, there'll probably be a video up on my channel of my first flight. And the reason I got the Mavic 3 Classic instead of the Air 3 is mainly the micro four thirds camera, but the number one video that's searched that has been played on my channel for the last month is me flying the Mini 3 Pro FPV. So I want to get a video out there flying FPV with the Mavic 3. So that's one of the videos I want to do. But it's been a while since I've purchased a drone with a really good camera on it. I want to compare the DJI Mavic 3 Classic it's got a micro four thirds sensor on it. I want to compare that with the micro four thirds X5S that I have on my DJI Inspire 2, and just see what the difference is. So let's see what Eat More Possum has to say. I compared the same images from my Mavic 3 Pro micro four thirds camera and my Mavic 2 Pro 1-inch camera side by side, pixel peeping at 300%. I couldn't tell much difference, but I think the dynamic range will shine. All right, cool. I think they all take great video, and be honest. But looking forward to the Leica, just a Leica camera on my drone with the Leica colors. So, all right, 6:45. I want to go through roll call. Some people talked earlier on today, but I don't know if they're still here. But Eat More Possum was first in the house. Then Steven Drones was a close second. So welcome, Brent and Steve. And then Nacho, Dennis was the third. So I feel like those three are my longest viewers that have been around the longest on my channel. So it's pretty cool that they all three showed up before the show even started. So that's pretty cool. And we're talking about the DJI Mini 4 Pro tonight. So Nacho's first comment was, did you see the nips on that drone? So we're going to be talking about the nips a little later and compare them to last year's nips. Let's see who showed up next. East Coast Thrills showed up fourth. I'm gonna stop counting because I'm gonna mess that up. But welcome East Coast. I hope you're having a good night. Then Dustin showed up from One Vision Aerial. Welcome. Who else we got? Charles Gillespie is in the house. What's up, Charles? Hope you're having a good night. I don't know why I said your name. What's up, Charles? What's up, Charles? I don't know why I did that with my face. Sometimes it doesn't do what I want it to do. Who else we got? Jim's Droning is in the house. What's up, Jim? Hope you're having a good night. Jim said next stream he'll be flying the Mini 4 Pro. It says on their website that they're I'm pretty sure that they've already got them stocked and they're ready to go for pre-order. But we'll get into that. What else we got? Y'all are saying hi to each other. It's a titillating subject, Dustin. I need to stop. Doug Max in the house. Howdy ho, Doug. Hope you're having howdy ho ho. Christmas time. Hope you're having a good night. Welcome to the chat. All right. So that's everybody that's here so far. Well, it says there's 9 people. I don't know that I named off 9 people, but welcome to the chat. I've said that 100 times already. So at 7 o'clock, we're going to get straight into the subject. But I wanted to address a couple things that I think with my last video, I created a lot of confusion. And I wanted to put that video up just so I could look at it in the headset, that headset right back there, the MetaQuest 2, just so I could see what the VR 180 experience was using 2x3 cameras. And then there's also an application on there called DOVR, which allows, like, actually shows the real resolution without compression. So I wanted to see what it looked like on there. The VR 180 was okay. I will say it probably is not much better than the Evo. The X3s are, maybe 3 or 4 years newer, but I don't know that the technology, as far as the lens goes, has been updated that much. The stabilization's way better, and battery life and all that kind of stuff have been upgraded, body style. But this was, I'm pretty sure this came out right after the 1X. So that's about, they're on the same level of technology, but it was a super cool test. And the reason that, and some of you guys might not know what I'm talking about. I wonder if I can pull that. I don't know if I can pull that up or not. I don't think I put it in the club. Maybe I can pull up the thumbnail. Sorry. Trying to get there. So Let me just. Content. I can do it this way. Got it. Yep. Boom. All right. I'm going to try something a little different with screen sharing tonight too, so bear with me on that too. Screen. All right. So there is a thing on here that does that. Oh. No, that's not going to work. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. And then I want to make this vertical. We're going to try this. I want to say like that. And then I'm going to share screen. I'm going to share a window. I'm going to share that. Well, that didn't work either, did it? Well, dang it. All right, we're going to have to go down here. Sorry, I'm checking the chat to see if y'all are talking to each other or are you asking me questions. We're going to stop this again. And then we're going to go back to doing this. All right. So I wanted to show you guys this. This is, can I do that? Nope. So this is the last video that I put out. I made a rig to put two Insta360 X3s. And the reason I chose the X3s is because I have two of them. I bought two of them, or I bought a second one when I went to camp, and I used them, like put one on a tripod and then carried the other one around during all of the water sports and stuff that I was recording. But before camp, I bought, so I have two identical 360 cameras with identical cages that I have on Amazon. And on those cages, they give me a cold shoe here and a cold shoe here. So I created two brackets to slide into those cold shoes just to give it like 3 points of contact so that they wouldn't kind of bounce around or whatever. And then I recorded full 360 video on both of them. And then I took them into Final Cut Pro. And the whole point of this test was so that I could put them into Final Cut Pro and not use Mystica VR at all. The problem with my GoPro testing that I did last year was Mystica VR is a really complicated application. It's not really meant for the masses. It's not built in a user-friendly way. And so I feel like I could teach you guys how to do it. But I wanted to figure out an easier way, a way that I didn't have to use Mystica VR, because I think it's a software that some people will get it, some people won't, but there's no easy way to get around that application. Whereas Final Cut Pro, designed by Apple, very, very user-friendly, super easy, user-friendly. What's up, Dirty Bird? Welcome to the chat. Hope you're having a good night. I like that name, Dirty Bird. Dirty Bird. It makes me think of Dumb and Dumber, where the blind kid is petting the bird. Hey, pretty bird, pretty bird. That's what Dirty Bird sounds like. Hope you're having a good night, man. So basically what I did was I I just created a 3D, a 3D 360 video in Final Cut Pro, and then I just put each camera where they needed to go. And in Final Cut Pro, you can turn the left, you can look at the left eye, then you can look at the right eye, and then you can also see an anaglyph, which is like King Kong in the 80s, where you went to 7-Eleven and got your 3D glasses so you could watch King Kong on TV. But 3D used to be red and blue screens, and it almost looked like black and white when you finally got to look at it, or like a purplish color. So anyway, but what that allows you to do is it allows you to see both left and right eye at the same time, and then adjust them. So I'm gonna put a tutorial on my channel, just kind of showing you guys what I did, and I think it's pretty awesome. My test, I was way too close to the cameras, so I would need to push them back a little bit. But when I was in Final Cut Pro, I got to use my two eyes, my left eye and my right eye, to align both videos. So when you're filming someone, you want to focus on their eyes. And so I wanted my eyes to be in focus in the 3D video. So I basically, in both videos, I just aligned my left and right eye. I had 2 points on each video that I turned it like 0.2 degrees so that it was a perfectly horizon, but it was stabilization on this video. So like both cameras were very stable, and were holding the horizon and all that kind of stuff. So there really wasn't that much adjustment that I had to do. But the plan is to possibly get another 1-inch edition and then build a VR 180 rig out of that, or I might just go with CAF. I might sell a couple things and go with the CAF system, because the CAF system looks really, really good. And if you don't know what that is, hopefully it will be on this channel at some point. But this is the CAF camera that I really, really want. Like, I am salivating every time I look at it. It's not as good as the Techie camera, but this one's only $2,000. But it has a screen on the back of it. And like, it's got mounting points. It just, everything about it really looks good, in my opinion, as far as a VR 180 camera. So that's all I really have to say about the test that I did on the channel. But now, since it is 7 o'clock, yeah, Eat More Possum says 3D is cool. I really want to either do this camera or the Kandao 4K camera. I'm starting to step back from VR 180 and trying to think about doing just 3D, because you can do 3D with 2 cameras and not have to deal with, the stitching and the injecting and all that kind of stuff. I love VR 180 videos, but I don't know that they're completely necessary. So I might, the new camera that I've got coming in is a, it's pretty. It's a used camera, but this is the new hotness that's coming in. It's a box camera. It's a Micro Four Thirds camera, but this cover comes off, and I can put an EF mount on it and that kind of stuff. But anyway, so there is a plan to either get 2 of these with the same lenses on them to do 3D, or to do it with 2 1-inch mount, or 1-inch 360s from Insta360. So anyway, so let's move on to the topic of the night. We're going to talk about the we're going to talk about the Mini 4 Pro that's coming out next week. And then we're probably going to watch some viewer videos from the club. So that'll be fun. I didn't do that last week, and so they're kind of building up on the club, and I want to celebrate y'all's creativity. So eat more possum. I want to address this. Oh, Doug said his dad had 3D cameras in 1986. Yeah. I went to a wedding one time, and Kodak used to have these, well, they probably still do, but not as prevalent because digital has come out. But back in the day, you would get disposable film cameras. And so I knew a guy that he got 2 Kodak disposable cameras, and he put them side by side on a ruler, and then he separated the lenses like probably 64 millimeters apart, and then he would take pictures with both cameras, and he would create 3D photos out of that. And then my mother she likes antiques, which they might not be antique to her, but she has a viewer, just like Dirty Bird just said. My mother has a viewer, and it's literally just 2 lenses with a handle underneath it, and then you put the photo. And so they were like antique photos, like black and white 3D photos that were pretty cool. But it's funny that Dirty Bird said and next they'll bring back the Viewmaster. I have a VR headset. It's a Google Cardboard made by Viewmaster, and you put your cell phone in it, and it looks just like a big red Viewmaster from back in the day. So that's pretty funny that you mentioned that. But Doug, that's super cool. I can't think of the last time I printed out a photo. It'd be nice to print out some photos and put kind of in the background. But Eat More Possum says, why has it not taken off for FPV? I think for FPV, the reason why it's not really that, because I've been watching DOVR in my VR headset, and there is a guy that he does that. I'm pretty sure he puts this camera on his FPV drone, and the only time it looked cool was when he was flying really down low around tall grass. So if you're flying FPV and you're hitting gaps, or you're flying really like proximity close to things, I think VR 180 would be awesome, because you can still look around, but you're going the direction of the drone, so you're not going to get sick. But where VR struggles is, and that's kind of why it's really important to have a camera that's built for it, that's made for it. But where you struggle with it is light. So I've been watching a lot of VR videos lately, and when your camera doesn't have the frame rate quite right, and you go in slow motion, even your cell phone does this. Like if you put your iPhone in slow motion, or they used to, I think they're getting better at it. But if your shutter speed is wrong, and it's not matched up with your frames per second, you get like this strobing effect. You really notice it in like gymnasiums or places that have I can't think of the name of the light now, that have gas in them. but like a ballpark, you really notice it, like the strobing effect with certain lights, fluorescent lights. And so, so anyway, but what's crazy, but where VR really, really stands out is when you've got a subject in front and then you've got a background that's far away. A lot of the drone videos that you fly, or like when you're flying a drone, you hardly ever have like a subject that's far away from its background. Like you usually have like a bunch of houses or a bunch of trees or a bunch, unless you're doing like a point of interest. Point of interest might be cool, but I still think you're so far away from your subject that I don't know that VR 180 would work that well. But the things that I do like are like dolly zoom, where you fly towards an object, but you zoom out at the same time. So the object looks like it's not moving, but the background, like you changes your depth of field. I think those are really cool effects. All right, what am I missing? I want to capture this. So Doug said that his dad would go down to Coco Arena and take pics of the wrestlers and make programs and sell them. Then they started a magazine called Wrestle Review. That's cool. Yeah, I knew a guy. Well, I didn't know a guy. My grandparents have this aerial photo of their farm. And it was in the guest room. So every time we spent the night at my grandparents' house, they had this picture above the bed of their farm. And this was long before drones. This was like in the 50s. So there was a crop duster who, like a guy that had a plane, and he would fly around everybody's farm and take photos of their farm. And then he would go door to door and show them pictures of their farms, and then he would sell the photo. I thought that was really cool. And it's kind of what your dad did. Like, he went down and took photos of the wrestlers and then sold them to people, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So Nacho mentioned that when I was talking about the strobing effect, when your frames per second don't match the motion that's happening, like sometimes you see like a car driving, and it almost looks like it's going backwards. Or like here, he said filming a copter and it looks like the propellers are not moving. Something else that's kind of weird is whenever you like take your cell phone and record a guitar string, and they just kind of wave. It's because your frames per second is off from the actual vibration of motion or the actual speed of the motion, which is pretty cool. I need a sip of coffee. Did anybody sneak in? I see Lambo showed up. What's up, Lambo? Hope you're having a good night. Did I miss anybody? Sometimes y'all go fast. Like y'all all chat at the same time and then it goes off. I think I've said hi to everybody. So Lambo's in the house. Yep, dolly zoom. I really like dolly zoom effects. I've been watching the show Heroes. By the way, I don't know if you guys know, but any show that was ever on the CW, you can watch it free on CW.com. But I just finished Heroes, which was my favorite show probably 15 years ago. I don't know when it came out. But the Matt Parkman, the guy that could read minds, whenever he would like do this with his face, and they would do dolly zoom on him. This is pretty cool. Yep. All right. So Dirty Bird is, maybe he got this from the picture that we're showing, but I have a document that that what you're saying is true. So Dirty Bird said, looks like the Mini 3.4 batteries are the same. I already have the Mini 3 Pro with multiple batteries. This is good as I can buy the Mini 4 Pro RC2 package. I don't want regular batteries. Are you referring to the 249 gram batteries or the extended batteries? Because I love the extended batteries. They are boss. And I want to say, well, we'll get into that. And I want to, never mind. I just had a squirrel moment. Lambo said, somehow seems they've not realized how many refreshes they've granted me because they just keep giving them. That's working the system right there. I'm going to go shut my door real quick. I hear my family making noise. All right. So another sidebar here in Nashville, the nights are down to 50 degrees and then the afternoons are 80 degrees. So I'm in that, and I like to keep the house around 70. And so I'm in that turn the heat on at night, turn the air conditioner on during the day mode. And I forgot to turn the air conditioner back on. So my office is super hot. So I had the door open and the fan blowing, but we're gonna have to do the rest of the stream with the door closed and I might start sweating. So there's that. All right, so let's get into it. East Coast says, I got a 256 ND filter. What should I have my ISO on? So there's three things that are you need to account for. There's exposure. Well, sorry, not exposure. There's shutter speed, ISO, and crap, I'm going blank. But the first thing you need to do is you need to set your shutter speed to what your frames per second is. So the rule of thumb is to, if you have 60 frames per second, then your shutter speed needs to be half of that. So 1/30. And then your ISO can be f-stop. So you're really three things, like it's a triangle. And so what putting sunglasses on your drone does is it lets you open up to different, it lets you open up your sensor more, pretty much. So with there's not a specific number that you need to put your ISO on, but what you need to do is you need to pick your shutter speed based on your frames per second. And then with your ISO, just adjust your ISO until it looks like, on your screen, whether it is exposed correctly or not, if that makes sense. I like, when I'm flying a drone, I like to keep a lot of things auto, just because, and Chuck and I kind of argued I think it might have been last week, but on on what you should do. I don't think you should fly manual all the way. I think you should maybe pick one of the three as a manual and stick to that. But if you're flying through the air, like if I set my tripod here and I get all the settings correct, and then I take that tripod and I move it 30 feet over in that direction, then I need to reset my camera. I need to fix things. Okay. But if you're flying in the air and you're moving forward, you're basically moving your tripod all over the place. And you're moving your camera lens all over the place. The sun's not moving, but your drone's moving. And so you've got different kind of light coming in and out. You've got, depending on what you're pointing at, you have different white balances. Depending on what you're pointing at, you have different focus lengths. So in my opinion, if your camera is constantly moving, then you need to take advantage of the auto settings that are in your drone. Now, if you have a specific shot that you want to do, like you've got a lighthouse with the sun setting behind it, and you're going to take a picture, or you're going to take like 3 seconds of that, then you can adjust your settings. Or you can also use manual on your drone if you don't want it to change things for you. Because like if you're sunset, if you're pointing at the ground, it's a whole different scenario than if you're pointing at the sunset. And I like to do kind of 2/3 ground, 1/3 sky. And depending on it, like the sun at, when the sun's in the sky and then when the sun set, those exposures are completely different. So I like to make things auto. But if you're getting a specific shot, so basically what ND filters do, in my opinion, is they basically put sunglasses on your camera so you can use different ISOs and different shutter speeds than you would if you didn't have them on. There are some scenarios like high noon, you'll get a lot better result with an ND filter on it because your sky won't be completely washed out. It'll darken the sky so that you can get clouds and stuff. But yeah, so that's my opinion on that. So would the 256 work well with chasing boats? So again, like what ND filters do on your drone is they allow you catch. It's a different view of motion. So if you're letting less light in, then you get kind of a blur between your frames, as opposed to crispy shots between your frames. So ND filters will work. What I would do is I would take your scenario and I'd fly one pack with an ND filter on it and one pack without, and see what you think with your scenario. I use ND filters during bright sunny days, but that's about the only time that I use them. They're also good for time lapses. So if you want to do a time lapse during the day, but you want to get kind of a blurry motion between, it's good. Stop. Snap. What's up, Maddie? Welcome to the chat. Sorry, I'm a little behind. You've been here for 5 minutes, it looks like. Man, y'all talking a lot. So Doug Mack asked, is anyone going to upgrade the iPhone for the camera? I think it's the same camera as the 14 Pro Max. I think they've upgraded the camera on the new titanium iPhone. Something they've really added, which I think is brilliant, is Like, can y'all see that? Probably not. The two top cameras on my phone, they've turned those into spatial. They have the ability to take spatial video, which is crazy, for their new VR headset. So they put a VR 180 camera-ish on their phones so you can take spatial video for next year's VR headset, which is pretty crazy. And they've done a lot with the technology that I think it can take better photos, but I don't know that the lenses are that much different. I feel like they did talk about the lens stack. Oh, something that they did with the telephoto lens is they refracted light, which I thought was pretty interesting. So usually, like lenses, is this a zoom lens? Yeah. So on lenses, if they zoom, they get longer. So if you zoom in, you separate the two lenses apart. So on their zoom lens on their new phone, they have it so that the light bounces back and forth and actually creates a longer lens because the light had to travel so far. I think that's pretty neat. So it's like all these little prisms that kind of bounce around, or like some telescopes, the light comes in and then it bounces around, or there's a mirror in the middle of the telescope, stuff like that. So the longer it takes for the light to get to the sensor, the farther you can zoom in. But I'm not getting it because I literally just got the 14. So I'm going to wait a couple of years. You're welcome. I hope it helped. I feel like I was pretty vague, but so I come from a background of sitting a camera on a tripod, and I don't think the same dynamics apply when your camera is flying 20 miles an hour. Like, so many things change. Like, you could be pointing at a building or pointing at something, and things might not change that much. But even going from a well-lit situation to flying behind a tree in the shade, like, that changes a lot as far as your exposure goes. So I would just keep that in mind. Use your auto settings and try them out. So Brett said the new Pro Max is the one with the periscope 5x zoom lens. So yeah, that's the lens I was talking about, where it kind of bounces back and forth. It's like a hall of mirrors. All right, Dirty Bird's got some good things to say. Keep ISO as close to 100 as possible for the best clarity, lowest noise. Use enough ND to make the shutter speed twice the frame rate, i.e. 30 frames per second. You want to be around, yes. So I got the math wrong when I suggested it to you. So it's twice. So 30 frames, so 60 frames per second would be 1/1200. Or sorry, 1/120. Yep. So take Dirty Bird's advice. Dirty Bird, I appreciate you coming in and fact checking me. Bob Casey's in the house. What's up, Bob? I want to answer your question, Bob, from last week. I completely missed it in the chat, and then I meant to talk to you about it. I'm getting my car fixed. My transmission went out last week, so I might be able to go up to the knob and try out my new drone that I'm getting. You weren't here for the first part of the chat, but I almost pulled the trigger on the Air 3, but I got a Mavic 3 Classic instead. That would be a great like getting the fall leaves at the knob would be a great opportunity to check that lens out. So, and as bouncy as the footage was in that wind, I think the Classic will be able to handle that wind a little bit better than my Air 2S. So, we'll see. But I am planning on doing that if you want to contact me. Don't contact me right now because I'm in the middle of a show like Nacho does. So Nacho said ND filters are used mainly to get your shutter speed low so you can have some motion blur. Yep. So motion blur would look really cool if you were chasing a boat. Because if the boat's going like 40 miles an hour and you're chasing it sideways, I think motion blur would look really cool on that. So Doug said, wonder if I just crop the picture if I would get the same results. Uh-oh. I don't know what we're talking about now. Oh. Maybe still talking about zoom. Longer shutter speed makes better blur. Yep. There's Bob shouting out to Maddie. All right, where am I at? 7:20. I'm 8 minutes behind y'all. Come on. Hopefully there's lag on y'all's end. So an example that Nacho put up here, 1/60 will give you more blur than 1/1000. Earmore possum. Nice. What's up, Joe America? Welcome to the chat. Hope you're having a nice night. Am I Sharn? I don't know what that means. All right. Bob, if you're going to start making fun of me, I'm kicking you out. I'm just kidding. All right. I'm going to skip ahead. Hopefully I'm not going to miss. Yeah. East Coast, the 14 is great. I don't know if you guys have used it, but Filmic Pro is a wonderful app to use with your iPhone. Filmic Pro, there's a pro version, like it's a pay version, but there's one app where you can use two different cameras at the same time. So you can use the front-facing camera and the other camera, and you can record at the same time to either two different files or to the same file, depending on what your settings are. You can manually set all of your different things. You can make the frame rate higher, and I mean it's a really cool app. $180 rule. Lambo said, congrats on the new bird. I'm excited. I really am. I just got the drone only because the last purchase that I made was the Mavic 3 Pro, and it had the remote control with the screen in it, like the original version. So since all of my drones will be on the 03 transmission system, then I'll be able to use that controller for all of them. So, and I'll be able to use the motion controller for all of them. And like that. Oh, I bet that's Nacho. Let's see if that's Nacho. Oh, nope. It's not. I really didn't spend that much. I just bought the drone by itself. And I got the Classic for a little bit more than 3. So the Air 3. Doug said the new iPhone will have ProRes. That's pretty cool. All right. All right. So, yeah, I'll talk to you offline, Bob. But my kids' fall break is the first week of October, so I'm good after that probably. Bob said the OcuSync 4 is fan-friggin-tastic. Nice. Chuck's in the house. What's up, Chuck? All right, I've caught up to y'all. All right, so let's get into these pictures. I want to talk about them a little bit. So this is the what looks like the Fly More package for the Mini 3 Pro. So what's new is this controller is the same controller that came out with the Air 3. It's either the RC2 or the Remote Control 2. I don't remember which one they're called. And then this is the drone. Still folds up, and let's compare it to my Mini. So this is the Mini 3 Pro that I've got in my hands. It looks very similar. It's got, there's not really much to say about this image. Let's go to the next image. I want to talk about this image a little bit. The gimbal looks a little beefier. On the bottom, compared to the one in my hands, this sensor is new. Well, maybe. This looks updated. I feel like this might be the 2 sensors that are on the Mini right now. And looks like a lot more airflow that's going to go through here. It's got the LED down here, which is new. As far as that picture goes, whoa, y'all are going crazy. So, okay. I think the camera's updated a little bit. I know the camera has the same specs, but as far as the gimbal, it looks a little different. Chuck's gonna make me mad tonight again. So yeah. So this is the LED on the bottom. These are the sensors that are the same as actually, this looks like the Avata right here. So the Avata has this camera, and these 2 sensors on the bottom. So it looks like the same things that are on the Avata, just packaged a little differently. There's huge airfoil right here. So That's going to pull in a lot of air to cool it down. What's different on top is the sensors have gotten a little bit bigger. So if you notice that these sensors face forward and the sensors behind it point backwards, they're small sensors, whereas these are the big, they look like 180 cameras. So the sensors are beefier here and here. And it's got a more of a rounded look, I think, but it might just be fooling me here. I wanted to see. Yeah. And then here's another picture of the sensors back here. Those sensors are a lot bigger than the ones that are on this drone. And the difference between the 4 and the 3 is the 4 will be able to see side to side. So it's got omnidirectional object avoidance compared to this one that can see on top of it and on bottom of it. But you can't go sideways, which was my biggest gripe about this drone in my first flight, was that it wouldn't let me fly sideways. It pissed me off. So I want to go into the specs right here. Ultralight, same weight, up to 34 minutes of flight, different smart features, omnidirectional obstacle detection. Not sure what actual vertical grip means. 48 megapixel photos, HDR video, which I think is new, and 4K 100 frames per second, which is better. And then there's something down here. No, I think that was all on that one. And then there's a couple differences here between the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro. And this is a different language, but most things you can understand what it's saying. So on the Mini 4 Pro, 4K 60 frames per second in HDR, whereas on the Mini 3, 4K 30 frames per second in HDR. So there is HDR in the Mini 3, just not at 60 frames per second. And then slow motion on the Mini 3, as far as the spec sheet goes, is only slow motion in 1080 at 120 frames per second, but you get 100 frames per second in 4K. So that's pretty awesome. In the Mini 4 Pro, you've added D-Log, 10-bit. The APAS system has been upgraded. And that is when you're flying through trees and stuff like that, it will kind of go around objects that are in front of it. And then the difference between the 03 and the 04 transmission system is 8 kilometers. And you get 60 frames per second on the 04. So Bob can attest as to what the 04 is like. But what it looks like to me, so the CMOS sensors are the same. So they've got the exact same cameras internally, but it looks like they put a beefier processor in it because you can handle, those cameras can handle more and create better images. Yep. And so that's that. I'm going to get to what you guys are saying, because sometimes when I read your comments, like I get frustrated because I'm in the middle of something. So Doug said the FAA delayed remote ID until March. Dang. Well, can they take it off my Avata? It pisses me off. All right. So Chuck said the OS4 is nice but not needed, and I agree with that. If you guys go back and watch my first flight with the Mini 3 Pro, like I flew farther than I ever would need to. I mean, I was just flying that thing all around Smyrna. I had like 45 minutes on the battery, and I was just like, a couple years ago, I would fly to one of those spots, and I flew to every one of those spots in the same flight with a tiny little. I mean, the drone is light, so I think that's pretty awesome. So Chuck says, I really think if I have a Mini 3 Pro, if you have a Mini 3 Pro, you can skip the Mini 4 Pro unless the range and sensors matter. Yep, I agree with that as well. So I wanted to see what the specs were of this today, and so I don't want to downgrade my camera for the Air 3, and the Mini 3 Pro does what it needs to. I don't need the Mini 4 Pro because I have a Mini 3 Pro. So that's why I ordered the Mavic 3 Classic, because I really, really want to see what that Micro Four Thirds does. Gary's in the house. What's up, Gary? Hope you're having a good night. In the background lurking. Nacho loves his Mini 3 Pro. If you guys want to see some really good Mini 3 Pro footage, when Nacho was on his road trip, like it was just him, his dog, and his Mini 3 Pro, and he took all kinds of videos of his dog and his. What do you drive? A Crosstech? Yeah, he for a while he was putting out all kinds of Mini 3 Pro videos. Nacho asked if that's a light on the bottom, and yep. Dirty Bird requested that, so it's pretty cool that it has been added. I saw another video where people use the landing light to do long exposure, like halos in the sky and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Steve Carpenter's in the house. What's up, Steve? Hope you're having a good night. See, I like that. He's got his avatar name and his real name. So there's no question who that is. Let's see what else is going on. So Dirty Bird says sees they beefed up the bottom IR sensors. Yeah, so the Mini 4 Pro is supposed to be able to do everything that the as far as obstacle avoidance, is supposed to do everything that the Air 3 does. So in the past, the Minis have lacked object avoidance in certain directions, but with omnidirection, it's going to have all of the directions, and then it also has the APAS 5, which the Air 3 has on it, and the controller. So they've been kind of releasing the Minis and the Airs kind of at the same time, and they've been putting the same technology into each one. So you've got your base light model, and then you've got your mid-tier that's better than the Mini, but not as good as the Pro or the Mavic. So yeah. So next year they'll be coming out with the Mavic 4, and it'll be on the O4 system and all that kind of stuff. And I'm glad they're keeping with the number system, because all this RC crap is pissing me off. Like the RC2 goes with the 4s, and they've got remote control and then RC2, and then and they did the same thing with goggles. Like here's the goggles too, but then here's the FPV goggles too, and those are completely different goggles. Like, drive me crazy. Lambo, the sensors wouldn't allow me to fly anywhere. I would be stuck in hover. That's awesome. I can fly with like my Mavic 3 Pro. Like the sensors don't stop my drone; they just yell at me all the time. I think they'd stop the drone if APAS didn't work, um, especially if like tracking was happening. But man, I take off on my back porch, my patio, and so I've got tables and I've got umbrellas and all kinds of stuff. And man, it'll just sit there and yell at me until I get out in the yard and there's nothing around me. So Nacho says it's almost like a 4-lens 360 cam. And I'm assuming you're talking about the sensors. I wish they would build a drone that would utilize the cameras, like my VR headset. You can see it back there. You can see little dots in the corners. Those are IR sensors, okay? But in the new MetaQuest Pro, or the MetaQuest 3 that's about to come out, they've got those same sensors, but they're also used as pass-through cameras. So you can use, so when you're in your room and looking through VR, you can see your actual room and then have like an alien attacking you in your room or something like that. But it like analyzes your room and shows you where your desk is and your monitors, and then in VR you can put things on those monitors. And I'm waiting for the day that all of these cameras, like the infrared sensors, I wish they would be coupled with actual cameras, and then you could just fly through the air in 3D and 360 and all that. I'm waiting for that day. I know, I corrected myself. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure what the grip was about. So Bob said the last update I'm going to enjoy Vision Assist and AR for home point. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that as well. So he mentioned I don't know if I have the back of it. I did see, I don't have a picture of the back. Woo! Bless me. So yeah, I don't know if you can tether it to your iPhone or not, to grab pictures off. So Bob said the Air 3 has D-Log 10-bit. Cool. So East Coast is going to donate his toes to science research for money for the Air 3. Just donate your plasma and your sperm. Do that twice a week. You'll get there. We used to donate our plasma in college. We could do it twice a week. And I don't remember what the payout was. It was probably like $25 or something. But it was enough to get us like a couple meals out. So Dirty Bird says, can I post a link? I got these off Twitter. I don't know. I don't have Twitter back up. I think it's funny how the images still have the Twitter icon, fave icon, but then Twitter is changed to the X. But that's the bottom view. Nacho said he's heading west in a few days. So Maddie says Mini 4 definitely has features the Mini 3 does not have. Could be a decent upgrade if you could swing the price. Yep. The thing that frustrates me with the upgrading is whenever things aren't compatible. Like Dirty Bird mentioned that the batteries are the same, so you can just sell your Mini 3 with one battery and then keep the rest of the batteries and put them in your Mini 4. But the controller doesn't work. Like you gotta get a new controller, even though they do come with the controllers. But it'd be nice if you could just get the next drone. Like I just bought the Mavic 3 Classic, and I just bought the drone because I have everything else. I'll have to buy batteries at some point, but yeah, Gary said he's got the RC Pro, which is the really expensive controller. So O3 is the end of the line for him. I'm not going to throw out his $1,200 RC Pro for some minor upgrades. So that's just it. Like if you invested in the O3 system, now you've got to reinvest in the whole O4 system. Oh, Lake Pilot. What's up, Lake? Hope you're having a good night. Mini 3 Pro is an awesome machine, but I like more range and 360 avoidance. Yep. So Joe Merica says, totally agree with you, Gary. DJI screws themselves with me by not adding OC4 to my RC Pro. They're lost. Yeah, it is frustrating that they can't do both. Like my PS5 plays PS4 games. Why can't my controller play? Like, why can't you switch between O3 and O4? Why does every time they upgrade their transmission system, why does it have to be so different? I just don't understand that. I kind of think it's just a money grab. I know there's better technology in it, but yeah, it seems to me that my drone could work in an O4 environment, but it's still compatible with O3 controllers or something like that. What's up, Lance? Hope you're having a good night. Welcome to the chat. All right, I'm gonna try to catch up. I'm gonna skip some things. Thought I was attacked by an alien in my room. Alas, it was just my lady going nuts because I didn't take the trash out. That's awesome. What if it did, like, you know how like Instagram and Snapchat and all those places have filters that go over your face? What if like the real people that were in the room ended up like filters went over them and then you could shoot them too? I think that'd be cool. Or you're like walking down the road and all of a sudden everybody's a zombie. So Doug says you sound like me with the sinus infection. So ragweed is crazy in Nashville right now. We are on high alert for air quality. All right. Huh. So Nacho's heading to Iowa to hang with Arthur. I thought Arthur was in Denver. Is he not in Colorado? So Doug asks how much the Avata weighs. Nacho said 410 grams. Thank you, Nacho. All right, I've caught up to you guys again. So East Coast, the stuff that's behind me is it's Apple TV screensaver. So the if you have an Apple TV or you know somebody that has an Apple TV, there if the screensaver comes on, it's usually these beautiful helicopter videos that are in slow motion. And so I have a screensaver on my Mac Mini, and it's the only thing I use that Mac Mini for now. But they are just download every video from well, I specified just the aerial videos of nature and Earth and stuff like that. But there's some from like satellites in space and stuff like that. So that's what that is. All right. What time is it? It's 8 o'clock. I told you guys I was going to get to some viewer videos, so we might show a couple of those. But I wanted to tell you guys, so you guys know that when I was doing this modification to my Avata, I broke a mini SD card, micro SD, into my Avata, so I no longer have the ability to put an SD card in or take it out. And so I was like, maybe I need to get another fresh Avata that I can do stuff with. So this is my OG Avata. And this week, I got another Avata. There was a guy selling his Avata with the Flymore package. It had 3 batteries. No, I think it had 4 batteries. I don't know. It either came with 3 or 4 batteries. He was selling it for $1,000. But something I like to do on Facebook is I type in drone and trade, because I got a lot of crap now since I've been doing this YouTube channel. And so in his description, he said, or would trade for a 4K camera. And I was like, I got like 10 of those. So I looked around the room to find one that I thought was kind of a fair trade for what he was asking. And so I traded my, what did I trade? XC10. I traded my Canon XC10 for an Avata with, it doesn't have the goggles 2. It has the FPV goggles 2 with it, and a motion controller and ND filters. And so I thought it was a nice, it had some extra things. I've got the motion controller 2, so I'll probably sell the motion controller 1. I'll probably sell the goggles. But with the one that I did the modification on, I might go ahead and do the axis modification on that as well. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't know that I want the same drone to have reduced battery life and run a 360 camera on it. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. But anyway, that's what I got. So Doug said, or you could just use the internal SD card in the Avata. Yeah, so I'm stuck with the internal card, which is frustrating for me because the only way to get that footage onto my computer is to have my drone on and stick a USB-C cable into my drone, and I hate where that's located. But if I do the Axis upgrade, that will move the USB-C port. So it'll be better. And I'm not sure if it adds a new SD card slot or if it just keeps the original one. So Doug said, I'll trade my Dodge Hellcat for your Tesla X. That's funny. All right. So I'm going to have to go blow my nose and go to bed. So let's watch some videos on the club. I haven't talked about the club tonight, but the club is cool. I'm like, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn audio on. I hope I don't get any copyright strikes because it's really frustrating when I do. But here we go. And I'm feeling all snotty tonight. So if you guys don't know what the club is, I'll go ahead and put a link in the chat. For the new people that have showed up tonight, I would love for y'all to join the club. It doesn't cost anything, and we share photos and videos, and we have contests, and I give away shirts and stuff. But most of the people in here are part of the club and they share. And I'll go ahead and pin it to the top. So I put in the chat, it's club.seanidstudios.com. And this is the club. So I want to go down and play some videos that have been uploaded. I'm trying to think where I left off. All right, this one's pretty good. This is Stephen Drones and his dinner plate. And we've got a fight going on. What he does, he has a rock out in his backyard, and he puts He put some scraps from the dinner table out there, and then he has a trail cam, and so we get to see who comes and eats off of his rock in the middle of the night. So whoa, we got a possum and a skunk going at it. Man, that happened so fast. I want to watch that again. Poor skunk. So that was a little crazy. I thought skunks, like, I didn't know that dogs and possums would fight skunks. I thought skunks would just spray and then everybody would run away. Because I have a friend that had a huge dog, and then they had a doggy door in their house. And so their dog went out in the middle of the night, got sprayed by a skunk, and ran in the house and jumped in bed with him and started rolling around on their bed. All the skunk smell. They had to end up throwing their comforter away because the smell was so bad. But yeah, pretty crazy. We've got some videos from Lance. That's in Project U, so I'm going to play that later when we start talking about Project U. But I'm going to show this one. This is capturing a drone with a net gun.
Okay, so I'm going to do an orbit. So heads up, it's going to do an orbit from here, so it'll go right through your heads.
I'll catch it at the end of the orbit. Oh wow, this is amazing.
Everybody's watching.
No pressure.
Okay, red light's on now, it's moving. Okay, capture.
What's the range? Like, how far does it shoot?
So I don't want to shoot more than, say, 20 feet, because at that point I still have to get to the animal and get a real catch net on it
Okay.
or subdue it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like a light deer net.
Exactly, it's exactly what it is.
Drone net capture.
That's a home built?
Yeah, so...
So it's basically a potato gun with...
100% air pressure. So
And 4
just
potatoes.
quickly go over what it is so you can know. All this, so it's Schedule 40 piping, which is rated for 300 PSI. Everything else, like the fittings, are only rated for about 150. So you don't want to go above 150 PSI with it, and that's plenty enough to shoot the 4 darts. Open up at about 15 feet completely, and then it starts to diverge. This is a sprinkler valve that if you look up arborist cannon or tennis ball cannon, pretty much everybody's using.
It's enough of that. So what that guy did is he built a it looks like a net gun, like a potato gun, but that shoots a net to catch critters, and they used it to catch a drone. So Steve said that his dogs did get sprayed. And Brett says his dog gets sprayed point blank in the face. Yeah. I saw an albino skunk one time. I guess it was albino. It was kind of reversed. It was white with a black stripe. And I thought it was the most beautiful animal I've ever seen. Because when they walk, their tail kind of ripples or bounces or stuff. And it was really beautiful, but I didn't want to get near it. All right, we've seen these, I think. This is one from John Carroll. I'm going to get past his logo. I think this is beautiful. Look at all that green. Gosh, that's beautiful. Look at that. See the flow of the water? That little channel? I think that's awesome. Well, you don't want to get your drone stuck in that mud though. It said it was from his backyard, so that, I guess this is his backyard or somebody's. I don't think John's with us tonight, but man, I love like the grass or whatever that is, cane or whatever's sticking out of the water. I love like the trails. It's so cool. It's like swamp water kind of. All right, and I think we got time for one more video. Who's it going to be? We already watched the John video. Steven Drones. We'll see. Oh, Dusty, East Coast Thrills, messaged me last week. He's our newest member. So he was asking me a question on Facebook, and then I invited him to the club. He was asking questions about photography, and so I wanted to point him in Alex's direction, because out of all the people that post on the club, Alex posts a lot of photos, and so I wanted to get them connected so they could he could give his expertise. All right, let's watch this sunset from Steven Drones. Check out my sunset. It's not much of a sunset. That's a beautiful shot, Steve. I think it's beautiful. I like that field down there. I like the silhouettes. There's the famous Steven Drone swirl. So last thing I want to talk about is in groups in the club. This is where all of our contests are. The one that's open right now is Project U. It's coming to a close. At the very bottom is the rules. So the deadline is September 25th. So that's next week, y'all. And we've got 3 entries. But this is just join this group and post to it, and you can pick out a shirt. These are all my stores over here in the red section. So you can get Shot-Eyed Studio shirt, or a drone shirt or a shirt for the AV club. Nobody has ever picked an AV club shirt. And then, and I didn't change that. But the other thing that's on the club is these links on Amazon. Really, if you click on any of these and then just buy something on Amazon for yourself, it supports the channel. So that's what those are for. So, you know what? I think I'll play a Joe America too. I think I want to do this one. This will be the last one for the night. It's gonna have to change that to Mini. I love that Spanish moss. Oh, that's beautiful. Looks like Forrest Gump's house. I love it. There you go, chasing the boat. Yeah, man. Joe, I'd go there all the time. Man, it's beautiful. Pretty day, puffy clouds, blue sky. And then like all the different shades of green. I love that. You got like your swampy green, you got your different types of green trees. Grass is a different color green. And then even the water is like a dark green. It's beautiful. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Check that out, y'all. That's beautiful. I love the wake behind the boat. That boat named Jenny. Life's like a box of chocolates. Lieutenant Dan, you got new legs. I love that little swamp thing in the middle of the nice grass. Like, what is that about? I do love Spanish moss on trees. I think it's so cool looking. What's up with the wires on top of the house? Are those lightning rods? Good night, East Coast. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, that's beautiful. It's a long video. Too many problems. Too many problems. All right. Well, that was a good show, y'all. I didn't stop talking the whole time. So coming up on the channel, I'm going to do a tutorial on how to VR 180 in Final Cut Pro and completely cutting out Mystica VR because it's frustrating. I'm going to be testing out my new Avata. And then I will be doing a video on the new Mavic 3 Classic for me. It's new for me. It's not new. As well as playing around with my new camera that's on the way. What I like about the new camera, it's a small cinema camera, but it has Wi-Fi capabilities. So there's an app. So I can have a monitor in my hands to a camera that I have, 10 feet away from me. So I'm going to be able to pull focus, have a manual shot, be able to shoot in ProRes, RAW, 10 bits. So pretty excited about that. And if I like it enough, I might get another one and try to make a VR rig out of it. But yeah. So with that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I will catch you guys on the next video. Before y'all leave, please like, subscribe to my channel, click on the bell for notifications to get more live streams and videos about cool tech. So have a wonderful week, y'all. Peace out.